As men age past 60, there's often an unspoken shift that begins to take root quietly within the body, a slow decline in energy, motivation, muscle strength, and sometimes even emotional drive that feels as though life itself is moving into a gentler rhythm. But beneath that gentle rhythm can often lie frustration, especially when one begins to notice the subtle but undeniable signs of low testosterone. Decreased stamina, loss of interest in intimacy, thinning muscles, expanding waistlines mood, swings, disturbed sleep, and a growing sense that vitality is slipping through the fingers no matter how hard one tries to hold on. And while society has often taught older men to simply accept this as an inevitable part of aging, the truth is that aging does not have to mean giving up on vitality, strength, or masculine energy, because testosterone, the vital hormone responsible for maintaining energy, muscle mass, libido, bone density, and mood, does not have to fall off a cliff after 60. And while some decline is natural, what many men don't realize is that their daily choices, especially what they eat, play a powerful role in either accelerating that decline or reversing it, because food is not just fuel, it is biochemical information that signals the body how to operate. And for men over 60, the foods they eat every day are either turning their testosterone up or quietly turning it down. And unfortunately, the modern diet is filled with hidden testosterone killers like refined sugars, trans fats, excessive alcohol, processed grains, and artificial additives that wreak havoc on the hormonal system, increase estrogen levels, and promote the accumulation of visceral belly fat, which in itself is a testosterone destroyer, because belly fat produces aromatase, an enzyme that literally converts testosterone into estrogen. And that means the more belly fat you carry, the more testosterone you lose, not just in the gym or the bedroom, but in your very cellular function, which is why many men in their 60s start feeling more fatigued, less confident, and even emotionally disconnected from who they used to be. But the good news is that the body is far more responsive than most people believe, and even after 60, small strategic changes in diet, especially adding specific testosterone-supporting foods, can naturally stimulate the body's own production of this critical hormone, leading to improvements in muscle tone, drive, mental clarity, motivation, and overall well-being. And one of the reasons food works so powerfully is because testosterone production relies on a complex web of nutrients, including zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, cholesterol, and B vitamins, all of which are depleted by stress, poor diet, and certain medications, which means men need to be proactive in replenishing these stores, not through pills or synthetic hormone treatments, which can come with serious risks and side effects, but through real, whole foods that have been shown to trigger the endocrine system into optimal function. And before we dive into those specific foods, it's important to understand the nature of testosterone as a hormone. It's not just about sex drive or masculinity, though those are important aspects, but it also governs red blood cell production, insulin sensitivity, bone density, and even how the brain processes memory, emotion, and focus, which is why declining testosterone often coincides with feelings of brain fog, low motivation, or emotional detachment. And too many men mistake this for depression or aging when in reality, their hormonal balance is simply off, and nature, in its wisdom, has provided us with certain powerful foods that can restore that balance when consumed regularly and mindfully, especially when paired with other lifestyle changes like improved sleep, moderate strength training, stress reduction, and hydration. Because testosterone doesn't operate in a vacuum. It thrives when the entire system is supported, and it fails when the system is inflamed, overfed, undernourished, or neglected. And what's most encouraging is that studies have repeatedly shown that men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond can regain youthful levels of testosterone, not through injections or expensive supplements, but through targeted food strategies that support the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands, and testes, the four key players in hormone signaling and production. And when those four glands receive the right raw materials, nutrients found in specific foods, they begin to work in harmony again, sending signals that tell the body to produce more testosterone in the correct ratio to other hormones, leading to natural and sustainable increases that restore energy and masculinity without side effects. And what's even more interesting is how quickly these changes can take effect. Many men report feeling a difference in their energy, mood, and even libido within just a few weeks of shifting their diet. And that's because the body wants to heal, it wants to function optimally, it just needs the right environment to do so. And that environment begins on the plate, with each bite either moving you closer to hormonal harmony or further into imbalance. And that's why understanding which 3 foods in particular have been shown to consistently support testosterone in men over 60 is not just helpful. It could be life-changing, especially for those who've been silently suffering from low energy, poor sleep, loss of confidence, or fading passion, because these foods work synergistically with the body's natural rhythms. And when used properly, they can help turn back the hormonal clock and reignite the inner spark that may have felt long extinguished. And in the next section, we'll uncover what these powerful foods are, why they work, how to prepare them, and how to incorporate them into your daily routine for maximum benefit. Not only to enhance testosterone, but to improve overall vitality, clarity, and strength in a way that feels deeply nourishing, sustainable, and true to who you still are beneath all the years that may have slowly masked your inner vigor and drive. And now that we understand how food can either hinder or help hormonal health, let's begin with the first of these 3 testosterone-enhancing superfoods. Eggs, which for decades were unfairly demonized due to fears about cholesterol, but are now rightly being recognized as one of nature's most perfect foods, especially for older men seeking to restore testosterone naturally, because the yolk of an egg, often discarded by those misinformed by outdated diet trends, is actually a nutritional powerhouse packed with precisely the kinds of nutrients the male endocrine system needs to produce testosterone, including cholesterol, which, contrary to popular belief, is not an enemy, but a vital building block for hormone synthesis, especially testosterone, which is derived directly from cholesterol through a cascade of biochemical processes that begin in the brain and end in the Leydig cells of the testes. And when a man eats whole eggs, particularly free-range, pasture-raised eggs, which are higher in omega-3 fatty acids and fat-soluble vitamins, he is not only feeding his muscles with high-quality complete protein, but he's also fueling his hormones with critical micronutrients like vitamin D, often deficient in older adults, zinc, selenium, choline, and B12, all of which work synergistically to support hormone production, liver detoxification, and brain health. And what's especially important to understand is that dietary cholesterol does not significantly raise blood cholesterol. In most people, and even in those who are sensitive, the benefits of healthy cholesterol sources like eggs far outweigh the risks, particularly when consumed as part of a balanced diet that minimizes sugar, processed seed oils, and refined carbohydrates, which are the real culprits in heart disease and hormonal disruption. So for men over 60, starting the day with a breakfast that includes 2 or 3 soft-boiled or poached eggs along with leafy greens and perhaps a slice of avocado can be a game-changing ritual that primes the body for a steady release of energy, mental clarity, and most importantly, an endocrine system that feels supported instead of starved, because the amino acids in eggs, particularly leucine, stimulate muscle protein synthesis, which helps combat sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. And that muscle maintenance alone helps increase testosterone, since lean muscle mass itself promotes hormonal balance by improving insulin sensitivity, reducing inflammation, and lowering body fat percentage. And when fat mass goes down, especially in the abdominal region, testosterone levels almost always go up, not because the body is tricked or forced into change, but because it is being properly fueled at the cellular level. And the simplicity of eggs is what makes them such an overlooked yet powerful ally in men's health after 60. They are affordable, widely available, easy to prepare, and incredibly versatile, meaning they can be enjoyed in countless ways, from omelets with spinach and mushrooms to hard-boiled eggs on a salad to baked egg muffins with herbs and bell peppers. And all of these forms retain the essential hormone-building nutrients that men need on a daily basis. And the act of consistently including whole eggs in your diet sends a message to your body that it is safe, nourished, and ready to operate efficiently, which is something older men often lose due to decades of nutrient-depleting habits or misinformation. And by restoring this simple food, it's like reintroducing a signal into the body that says build, strengthen, restore, and many men who make this one change report feeling fuller for longer, experiencing fewer sugar cravings, having more sustained energy throughout the day, and even sleeping better at night due to the presence of tryptophan and choline in the egg yolk, which support neurotransmitter production and deep, restful sleep. Another key player in testosterone production, since testosterone is released in pulses during REM sleep. And if sleep is broken or shallow, those pulses weaken, leading to reduced levels over time, which is why food and sleep are so interconnected in their impact on hormonal health. And eggs help bridge that gap by providing both the raw materials for testosterone and the nutrients needed for quality sleep. And in this way, the first of these 3 foods stands out not only as a source of physical nourishment, but as a symbol of returning to ancestral wisdom, to real, unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods that the body recognizes and thrives on, unlike the ultra-processed, sugar-laden, testosterone-draining products that line most grocery store shelves today. So if you're a man over 60 who's been skipping breakfast or relying on toast, cereal, or quick processed snacks to get through the morning, consider what might happen if you simply replace that with 3 warm, golden yolked eggs served with real food ingredients that your body can actually use, because often it's not massive overhauls that change your life. It's small, consistent habits like this that recalibrate your entire system and slowly bring back the vigor, drive, and vitality you may have thought was gone for good. And once this foundational food is in place, The next step is to build on it with another potent natural testosterone booster that works in a completely different way. Not just through micronutrients, but through its incredible anti-inflammatory and antioxidant power, which we'll uncover in the next section as we continue this journey toward reclaiming youthful energy, strength, and hormonal vitality well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. And continuing this journey into the second powerful food that naturally supports testosterone production in men over 60, we turn our attention to one of the most revered and ancient ingredients used across cultures, not just for its flavor, but for its profound medicinal properties. Ginger, specifically fresh ginger root, which is far more than just a spice to be added to tea or stir-fry. Because modern science has begun to confirm what traditional systems like Ayurveda and Chinese medicine have. Known for thousands of years, that ginger possesses extraordinary benefits for male reproductive health, including its ability to significantly increase testosterone levels, enhance sperm quality, reduce oxidative stress, and support overall vitality. And while many older men might associate ginger with digestive relief or anti-nausea effects, which are indeed real and helpful, the deeper truth is that ginger acts on multiple levels within the male hormonal system, beginning with its strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds like gingerol and shogal, which reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that silently disrupts testosterone production as men age, because inflammation acts as an internal fire that damages the Leydig cells in the testes, the very cells responsible for synthesizing testosterone from cholesterol. And when those cells are damaged or impaired, testosterone output slows, even if the brain is still signaling the body to produce more. And ginger, when consumed regularly in a potent and bioavailable form, has been shown to not only reduce this inflammation, but to also directly improve the activity of key enzymes involved in testosterone synthesis, including 17-beta-HSD and 3-beta-HSD, which convert cholesterol into testosterone. And this enzymatic support means that even if dietary cholesterol and other nutrients are present, testosterone production will be sluggish unless these enzymes are functioning properly. And ginger helps activate them, creating the optimal biochemical environment for hormonal rejuvenation. And there are now human studies showing that daily ginger supplementation can increase testosterone levels by up to 17% in infertile men, along with significant improvements in sperm motility, semen volume, and luteinizing hormone levels, which is important not just for fertility, but also as a proxy for overall testicular function, because luteinizing hormone, or LH, is what tells the testes to produce testosterone in the first place. And if LH levels are low or the testes are unresponsive, testosterone stays low no matter how healthy your diet is otherwise. And ginger steps in as a powerful natural adaptogen that helps restore that hormonal communication pathway while also supporting cardiovascular function, liver detoxification, and blood sugar balance, all of which are indirectly tied to testosterone production because the hormonal system does not exist in a vacuum, and every organ system either contributes to or detracts from the endocrine health of an aging man. And this is why ginger is so uniquely powerful for men over 60. It supports the whole system while directly acting on the hormonal cascade in a way that few foods can. And the best part is that ginger is incredibly easy to integrate into your daily life without any need for pills or synthetic extracts. Simply by grating fresh ginger root into hot water with lemon in the morning, blending it into smoothies with turmeric and black pepper for a morning tonic, using it as a base for homemade salad dressings with olive oil and garlic, or simmering it into broths, curries, or stir fries for a warming, circulation-boosting effect that also soothes the digestive system and strengthens the immune response. And for men who struggle with cold hands and feet, sluggish metabolism, or poor appetite, all signs of declining vitality, ginger often acts like a gentle fire that reignites internal energy, promoting better circulation and nutrient absorption, which further supports hormonal health. And what makes this food even more remarkable is its ability to counteract the damaging effects of environmental toxins like heavy metals and xenoestrogens, chemicals found in plastics, pesticides, and personal care products that mimic estrogen in the body and suppress testosterone. Because ginger enhances liver function and glutathione production, two key mechanisms through which the body detoxifies itself, and this hormonal detox is critical for older men whose lifetime exposure to environmental pollutants has gradually built up, quietly blocking their ability to produce testosterone efficiently. And by including ginger daily, men are not only adding a powerful testosterone booster, but also a natural defense against the very toxins that have been draining their masculinity for years. And over time, this consistent intake of ginger leads to a noticeable lift in energy, libido, motivation, and physical endurance, with many men reporting that after just a few weeks, they feel sharper, more confident, and more present, both mentally and physically. And for those struggling with blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar imbalances, which are common in men over 60, ginger serves as a natural regulator, helping to bring the entire metabolic system into alignment, which further amplifies testosterone output by reducing systemic stress. Because stress in any form, whether emotional, physical, or biochemical, leads to the release of cortisol, the stress hormone that directly suppresses testosterone production. And by keeping cortisol levels in check, ginger protects the delicate hormonal balance that men over 60 must fight to preserve, especially in a world filled with processed food, sedentary lifestyles, and increasing environmental pressures. And what's truly encouraging is that this fight does not require expensive interventions or pharmaceutical shortcuts, but rather simple, consistent use of natural foods like ginger that have stood the test of time. And when combined with other practices like walking, resistance training, deep sleep, and emotional connection, the effects become even more profound, because testosterone thrives in a body that feels supported, strong, and nourished. And ginger helps create that exact internal environment. And when we combine the egg, a building block of hormone production, with ginger, a catalyst for hormonal activation, we already begin to feel the transformation taking root. But there is one more food that ties it all together, one more ancient and nutrient-rich powerhouse that amplifies everything we've discussed so far and acts as a final spark to reawaken the masculine energy within. In the final segment, we will explore this last food, reveal how to best incorporate it, and wrap up with a vision of how all three of these foods, when combined with intention and consistency, can transform not just testosterone levels, but your entire experience of aging into one of strength, clarity, connection, and renewed purpose. And arriving now at the third and final food that holds remarkable potential to naturally elevate testosterone and rekindle masculine energy in men over 60. We turn to a humble yet potent nutrient source that has nourished generations across continents and continues to be one of the most overlooked superfoods in modern nutrition. Pumpkin seeds, often regarded as nothing more than a snack or a garnish. But in reality, they are small nutritional giants packed with exactly the compounds older men need to awaken dormant vitality, support hormonal function, and rebuild what time, stress, and poor diet may have eroded over the decades. Because pumpkin seeds contain an extraordinary combination of zinc, magnesium, healthy fats, antioxidants, and plant-based proteins that make them one of the most efficient foods for naturally enhancing testosterone, beginning with zinc, which is arguably the single most critical mineral for male sexual and reproductive health. Not only because it plays a direct role in the production of testosterone, but also because it inhibits the activity of aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen, meaning that by eating pumpkin seeds regularly, older men are not only supporting testosterone production, but also protecting existing testosterone from being lost to estrogenic conversion, which is especially important in the later decades of life when the balance between testosterone and estrogen begins to shift unfavorably, often leading to weight gain, mood instability, low libido, and reduced muscle tone. And with just a small handful of pumpkin seeds, raw and unsalted being the most effective, you can deliver over 2 milligrams of zinc along with substantial amounts of magnesium, which works synergistically with zinc to optimize androgen function, reduce inflammation, and enhance sleep quality, all of which are prerequisites for healthy testosterone levels. And when consumed as part of a daily routine, these seeds act like silent architects rebuilding hormonal resilience from the inside out, because they also contain phytosterols, plant-based compounds that have been shown to help lower LDL cholesterol and support prostate health. They offer additional protection against age-related decline in urinary and reproductive function, which becomes increasingly important as men cross into their 60s and beyond. And it's not just about what they add, but also what they displace, because snacking on pumpkin seeds instead of chips, sweets, or refined grains helps reduce dietary inflammation and insulin resistance, which are major contributors to hormonal decline in older adults. And when combined with the cholesterol and vitamins from eggs and the anti-inflammatory power of ginger, pumpkin seeds complete a trifecta of nutritional strategy that equips the aging male body with everything it needs to revive its natural hormone-producing abilities, without resorting to synthetic testosterone, hormone replacement, therapy, or unregulated supplements. And the beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity and sustainability, because these foods are widely available, easy to incorporate into any lifestyle, and cost-effective compared to most medical interventions, meaning that any man, regardless of income or access, can begin this journey toward restored strength and vitality. And while it's easy to be skeptical, especially after decades of hearing conflicting advice about aging, hormones, and masculinity, the truth is that the body retains a remarkable capacity to heal and regenerate even into the 7th, 8th, and 9th decades of life, provided it is given the right inputs, the right environment, and most importantly, the right mindset, because testosterone isn't just a hormone. It's a signal, a message from your body that says you are alive, alert, assertive, grounded, present, passionate, and capable. And when that signal fades, men can feel lost in ways they cannot always articulate, disconnected from their drive, their purpose, their relationships, even their sense of self. And this loss isn't just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, and existential. And so reclaiming testosterone is about far more than gaining muscle or boosting libido. It's about restoring the flame within that makes a man feel whole. And that's what these foods help you do, because they nourish you on every level. And if you take one thing away from this, let it be this: your age is not your limit. Your past is not your destiny. And your vitality is not gone. It's simply waiting to be reignited. And it begins with a decision, a shift in your daily choices, starting tomorrow morning with a breakfast that includes eggs, a sprinkle of ground ginger in your tea or oatmeal, a handful of pumpkin seeds in your pocket or on your salad, small steps that create a massive ripple effect. And as your body starts to respond, as your energy rises, as your sleep deepens, as your confidence begins to return, you'll notice something powerful. You'll begin to feel like yourself again, not the younger version of you, but the wiser, stronger, more grounded man you were always meant to be. And when others notice the change and ask what you're doing differently, you won't need to explain. You'll simply smile, because true transformation speaks for itself. And for those of you who've watched all the way through, who are committed to this journey of reclaiming vitality and masculinity after 60, know that you're not alone. And every man who takes responsibility for his health becomes a role model, not just for his peers, but for the younger generations watching him rise. Because when you care for your body, your hormones, your mind, you're also investing your legacy, your relationships, your joy, your freedom. And that's the deeper meaning behind these three foods. They're not just nutrients. They're keys to unlocking the next chapter of your life with strength, clarity, and purpose. So begin today, not with fear or hesitation, but with curiosity and commitment. And watch as your life transforms in ways you may have once thought were behind you. Because the truth is, it's never too late to become the strongest version of yourself. And the journey starts with one meal, one breath, one choice at a time. And if this message resonated with you, if you feel even a flicker of hope or motivation, then know this. This is your moment, and you are more than capable of rising into it.